I'm here with Douglas Peterson, the GM of the Americas for Universal Robots, and we're going to talk about robots and the future of work. How are you, Douglas?
Great to be here, Andrew.
Let's talk a little bit about what your company does. Who does it serve? What kind of industries? Who wants robots today?
The classic, if you will, application would be machine tending. So we do a lot of machine tending. And machine shops where you have a metal cutting machine or a plastic injection molding machine, you're loading and unloading that machine. Typically, a worker all day long, that's all they do is load and unload a machine. So the robot replaces that particular role. And then the worker can think of other ways to improve the process around that machine. Pick and place, packaging.
That's classic to me,
yeah.
Sure.
And there's a lot of that. There's some dispensing where you might be placing a bead of glue around an object that needs to be glued together. Driving screws down on in light assembly type applications, a lot of that. And then we're getting into more and more kind of applications you might not think about. Fast food industry, flipping burgers.
That's wild.
We have an application where it actually cuts a sandal. It cuts the shape. It measures the shape of your foot, and then it cuts a flip-flop out of a piece of material. Custom flip-flops. Assisting with surgery. We have an OEM that utilizes our robotic arm to hold a camera and lighting around a surgical operation.
Which is quite a bit more sophisticated than simply picking something off of a conveyor belt, right?
Exactly.
There's been a lot of fear around whether or not robots will take over jobs, right? I mean, that's the man versus machine, the constant battle that we see in the movies, and certainly we see with the rise of technology. It's really not that simple, is it? Tell me a little bit about how you're looking at this.
You say man versus machine, we say man with machine, because in our view, it's the employee, man or woman, that's deploying the machine. So they work right alongside it. From a small and medium enterprise, from the ownership standpoint, you don't have to reconfigure the application or the process. You're not having to rearrange equipment as much as you would with a more traditional robot. You can put that robot right in place, easily mount it, plug it into the wall, start programming it, and what's happening is the employees themselves are thinking of new ways to deploy the robot in the manufacturing environment.
Tell me a little bit about how you look at the deployment of robots and then also the retraining of existing workers, right? Because that's the argument. The technology doesn't destroy jobs, but it certainly kind of redoes them.
Well, I think awareness and training is key to really exploding this market of collaborative robots. We have a partner in Ohio, Ramtech, and they're an educational organization that trains on robotics and machine tools and all kinds of different manufacturing technology. And they estimate in Ohio alone that there's a gap. There's 60,000 unfilled manufacturing jobs. And so their mission is to train more employees out of high school, retrain existing workers in the workforce to be able to implement automation and implement robotics. They also estimate that by the end of the year 2020, there might be upwards of 2 million unfilled manufacturing jobs. So by getting people trained, getting robots deployed, those robots can then be used to cover and close the shortage, the manufacturing labor shortages of those 2 million, and just continue to kind of close that gap and make companies more competitive.
Let's talk about return on investment. Is that a huge part of the buying decision for one of these?
Yep, and particularly for a small and medium enterprise where they may not have the resources, they may not have the capital investment budgets like a larger organization would have. Upfront investment of a collaborative robot is about a third of what a traditional robot might be. So you might be in the $30,000, $40,000 range at the lowest end, up to a $60,000 implementation for a collaborative robot. That would probably be triple for more of a traditional style robot. And because you can get so much more productivity by utilizing the robot also, we see on average about 195 days payback. But we've seen some payback under 30 days. We just had a recent application, it was 28-day payback period for an application. It was a machine tending application in a medical device type of industry. So very, very attractive return on investment for the small, medium, and even larger enterprises.
Douglas, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Andrew. It was a pleasure.
For more on the future of work, go to fortune.com.